Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And I'm back with part 4 of What If Kaguya created Naruto to replace her sons. Remember to get this one too, 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels if you're new. Anime King 2, Anime Symbol, Anime Prince. All of the links will be down in the description, and if you want your what if to be done by me, whether it be by my own voice or a written what if, just comment your ideas on any of the latest videos, including this one, and I'll jot it down for future use. So yeah, don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or wasting any more time, let us begin this now guys. So the last part that we left off, many things happened as Naruto was forced to spend years locked away as time went by, his mind weak, everything about him weakening even more. He grew angry as his brothers came by, trying to talk. The day came when Hamura made his decision. He took several people along with him, and he went to the moon to guard their mother's seal. He said goodbye to Naruto. It seems like Naruto would have responded to him, but he did not. Naruto even met the child of Hagoromo. His name was Indra. Two children Naruto felt when they were born, Indra and Ashura. As Naruto decided that it was time, finally concluding his thoughts in his head, he was able to overcome the seal by stripping his own power away, not knowing the full side effects just yet. He transformed, one of the blessings that his mother gave him. Hagoromo could not find him because his very essence became one with nature. This man-beast transformation was dabbling with nature as well, which made Naruto more superior in every single way. The problem was the drawback. He fell in the water, miles upon thousands upon miles away. Hagoromo searched, but he could not find him. However, Naruto was found by Madara and Kento, a brother and sister who were brought into a world of chaos in the beginning. However, they survived the world. The blessing of humanity, as Hagoromo said. Their parents died by the Ten Tails corrosive chakra, but Hagoromo had passed and purified the land. At first, Naruto despised them as he did all humanity, but as time went by, he started to crack. Things became even worse when they chose to hide him away from his brother, knowing that something was wrong, but yet they hid him away from the man that saved them because everyone deserves a second chance, Madara said. That started to change Naruto as he stayed with them for a long time. Once majority of his power, well, he thought that was the case, had returned, but it was not. Naruto went to the moon and visit Hamura. Hamura thought he was here to fight, but no, Naruto was here to talk. His mind was corrupted, after which he made his way to go and visit Hagoromo. He found the children first, Hagoromo immediately stepping in, but Naruto would never harm them. They were still a part of his blood despite tainting with humanity. They talk for a long while, for hours, where Naruto got to understand even more as his brother saw great changes and was happy to see them. Unfortunately though, when Naruto got back to the city, it was burning, and it was his fault. Due to him causing the rain to fall, their crops flourish. So thugs and bandits arrive. Kento was on the ground bleeding out while Myra and several of the other girls were forced into slavery. Naruto massacred the group without hesitation as he revived Kento into something else, killing him to revive him in the process, sharing his gifts with him. Myra was angry at first until she saw her brother took a breath again. Hagoromo arrived seeing what Naruto had done as he dubbed it as an abomination trying to stop him, but Naruto flickered away with all of them in light, saying if he cannot fix humanity he would simply recreate it into something else. It was a couple years later where a large massive group watched as Naruto was going to restore his strength. Creating them, remaking them as weak as he was, it took a lot out of him. And the parts of him that he destroyed, he wanted them back, but the only way to retrieve them was to rest. Myra and Kento tried to make him stay, saying that they would protect him. That's the reason why he granted them strength and changes, but Naruto was adamant on the rest. And it's not like they could do anything to stop it. Thus he went to sleep. As he did though, Hagoromo saw the threat of the world and decided to intervene to make sure that this threat would never last alone. Years went by as Naruto's sleep went on longer than expected. He never knew the full consequences of ripping his own power apart. However, over time everything started to change. Everything. And finally, after thousands of years, he awakened. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to please check out for yourself. So we jump right into this brand new episode. Let us begin now guys. The elemental nations, dubbed by many, but many call it another name. There were a lot. The world of savages, the world of beasts, the world of destruction, the world of chaos. Rarely does it see peace. There was always something ahead, some move, some game, something. This world was scarred by a lot. Over time, there was talks, but they never truly stand. They were never truly enforced, even with those that possess terrible power. Power that make others tremble and fall to their knees. But on this particular day though, no one expected this. It was a calm day for all until the sky started darken. The heavens became red, almost like they were bleeding. A young man, seeming to be in his late 20s, stepped towards a massive window. As he gazed up at the sky, he could feel it in his bones. Rain started to pour. The raindrops seemed to be red as they soaked the ground. His people moved about as he watched, gazing from his tall building. He looked not pleased in the slightest. Far away from this location was a woman. She seemed older, in her early 30s. Beautiful, stunning in every single way. Her face cloaked by the darkness of the drapes until she pushed them open. She looked up towards the heavens. As she saw the sky, she felt it. She could tell this was not normal. It was him. After all these years, after so long, now, her fist clenched, anger radiating off of her. The room quaked by the pressure that she gave off. She wasn't the only one. The young man, also filled with so much rage, so much contempt, so much anger. However, the true, phenomenal event was taking place. After 5,000 years of resting, Naruto himself never knew the ramifications of ripping his own power away. He said it himself. There was a chance that he would have even died. However, in the process of breaking free from the cage that his brothers put him in, He ripped away majority of his power, ripped away most of the cells that his mother bind inside of him. However, they could be recovered, but the process took longer than expected. 5,000 years. Naruto rested. 5,000 years he slept until his body finally woke up. He's waking up, signaling to the entire world that changes were making. A beautiful village known as Konoha. As everyone gazed towards the sky, a village known as the Land of Lightning, Kumo. The people were gazing up. The Hidden Stone, the Sand Village, Kiri. They were known as great nations, powerful than some of the smaller ones. Well, for their people. They could all feel it in their bones as they looked up towards the heavens. They didn't understand though. What was this pressure? What was this feeling? And they were afraid. The tree exploded. The sanctuary that was buried. A tree on top of it. A massive tree. Large. Comforting. The entire vicinity went boom, triggering a blast that leveled the entire platform. A raw flex of his power. Finally, he ascended into the sky. Before descending down towards the broken ground, when he looked around, everything was different. His eyes could see far beyond what was in front of him. His vision showed him a forest that was in ruins. But far ahead, he saw something. He walked the ground. He walked the ground after being asleep for 5,000 years. He expected to see them waiting out here for him. As he was unaware of just how much time passed, his mind was occupied, recreating the cells and putting them back together that make him up. As it turned out to be more difficult than he thought. However, now, he knew everything. He knew what his mother turned him into. He knew the aspects of his creation. He knew how he was forged into something spectacular. He expected to see his followers waiting for him. But no, there was no one. He made his way towards the closest city. As he arrived, he gazed towards the window. His white hair, pristine. His blue eyes, captivating. He hasn't aged a day. Still looking as the same, mature, powerful in every single way. His clothing, pristine. The Megatama markings going down the white cloak that he was wearing, spreading down the sleeves, and the grey pants. Soft footwear. He moved through the city. However, something was wrong. The place was barren. He could sense the people in their home, but most of it was barren. He then saw something far above, in the woods ahead. I first awakened to this. Humanity, he said, as he spat with disdain. In an instant, he cleared the distance. Those that were peeping through their window were shocked. He arrived as he stopped himself in front of a man who was chasing a woman. The man bounced into him and fell to the ground, almost like hitting a stone slab. He picked himself up. However, Naruto was intrigued when he saw something peculiar. Immediately he thought about the species that he brought to life, that were supposed to be there to welcome his return. But this was different. Far, far different. In front of him was a man, seeming to be in his early 30s. Long brown hair, but it was his eyes. They were crimson with black marks, stretching out towards each end. Not to mention, Naruto could see his fangs. He remembered Kento. Yes, very well. The man thought that he was nothing, as he did not understand, unable to truly feel what Naruto was. Immediately he jumped at him. Naruto had gripped his throat. As he held him in mid-air, "What are you?" said Naruto, focusing in with interest, his eyes looking through him as he saw it. He saw the trace of immortality, but not fully. Naruto was confused. When a fist struck him in the face, but he barely moved. Naruto held him up. "Answer my question," Naruto said. "What are you?" The man went stiff, his eyes seeming to roll back. I'm a step above the food chain. An evolution," he said, stuttering, as he tried to break free, but he was unable to. "I am a Noxery," he said. "A Noxery? What's that?" As the man was forced to explain. The term itself was Nox. It was a representation of night, a word that was forged by elegance and mysterious, setting them aside from the rest to show in what they were. They were mysterious. Their very origins were a mystery, while they crawl in the night like beasts, feeding on life force. Naruto was surprised. This was not one of them that he created. His was supposed to last. His was supposed to be here when he returned. But this, it wasn't fully immortal. Naruto's hand tightened. The next moment, he tore its head off easily, throwing it to the ground. As he turned to face the woman, he looked at her and he saw it. Chakra coursing through her. She was afraid, but she was also shocked. However, her fear was also what? He missed. "Behind you," she said. The man rose, reattaching his head. He attacked Naruto as he tried to sink his fangs into him. Not for blood, life force. Kento once again rose to Naruto's mind. However, this time though, Naruto vanished, reappearing behind him and grabbing him by the neck as he tossed him into the sky. A orb of condensed chakra twisted into flames. Naruto made it so large as the man fell right into it. Every scrap of him was reduced to dust. He couldn't come back from that. The girl looked towards him, terrified and amazed. Naruto could tell that she was a human. However, he was curious. At first he thought that it was simply mankind, hurting themselves once again, but he was wrong. Who are you?" she said. He looked at her, expecting her to know who he is. He had expected that man to bow in fear as well. After all should know his features. He had spent the past 2 years before going to sleep, leaving everything behind. So he was confused. "I am Naruto Otsutsuki. Tell me, child, how do you not know who I am? Am I supposed to?" This was even more confusing. Despite his hate of humanity, meeting Kento and Myra taught Naruto that not all of humanity was bad, and he could tell that she wasn't one of the bad ones. The ones that were sickened by their own humanity, that they turned to use it for sick, twisted ways. She looked at him confused as she walked around him. "You just destroyed him like it was nothing, and that's a Noxery. I mean, I thought I was going to die, but you saved me. By the way, I'm Aiko Uramura," she said. "Aiko," Naruto said. "This abomination that I just killed, do you know the origin of what it is?" When Naruto questioned the abomination to spill, it did not know everything about its own upbringing. "Oh. She looked confused. "I'm sorry, Mr. Naruto," she said. "Have you been asleep for 100 years or something?" "I suspect that it's been more than that," he said to her. She blinked. "Wait," she said, stepping back. Are you like them? But you don't look like them. You don't have the veins or the eyes, or that smell that they give off." I'm not one of those abominations, he said, his tone raising. Something about that man. It wasn't right. What Naruto had created was linked to him. Their life force, what they were. But that thing, he didn't create it. It was a stain on his own creations. And he wanted answers. Aiko saw that something was wrong here, but she didn't want to piss off the man that just exterminate one of their kind like it was nothing. Well, I don't know the full story of everything. I mean, the world is divided. I mean, you have the one side where they rule. Who? Them, she said. Well, I can't exactly point towards him because, you disintegrate him. So the Noxeris, they control the entire Crimson capital, away from the elemental nation. You really don't know any of this? Or are you just messing with me? His lack of blinking or smiling showed that he wasn't. So she told him, well, you have the elemental nation where the San, Konoha, Kumo, the Stone, Kiri, and all those villages are. With the smaller villages between, yes. Then you have the Crimson capital, where most of the Noxeris are found. They worship some kind of god there that none of us has ever really seen. Most saying that he was a powerfulest person that walks the earth. But most believing that he's a myth. But his myth is so scary that none would want to even step close. They control the entire capital that is around the same size of probably 4 of the villages and their nations combined. So yeah, in between you have villages like these, away from the elemental nation, not worthy enough to be in there. Terms of their rank, said Naruto. Yes, village military power, things like that. So they're ranking each other on power to be safe. Yeah, she said. It's a twisted world. I mean, we've been through at least 7 to 9 wars now. Wars. Yes, world wars. The elemental nation versus a Noxeris. But they're not even the biggest problem. They're not. No. Man, it's strange that you don't know any of this. The Lunaris, she said. What is that? The transformations. Well, that is what some people call them. The lycanthrope, many of those different names. They are people that can transform into beasts. Powerful hulking monsters that could tear me apart with one single blow. I've seen them with my own eyes. Terrifying, especially when the moon is out. Otherwise, they're still strong, but the moon seemed to fuel them somehow. They said it's because of their connection with nature. The moon being the apex that spreads some kind of, connection with their names. Lunar mean moon. I'm not sure what all of it means, but yeah, the Lunaris, they control the Moon Valley. That is the other section. And that is where they rule. They have leaders and lords over there. Same like for the Noxeris, but it is said that they have one original person that rules them all, but us common people are not able to see whoever that is. Not that I want to, after all, if I do, I would probably be dead. So yeah, I'm not sure how you don't know any of this, she said to him, but that's basically the world. So tell me, mister, how are you this strong? Aiko questioned. However, their conversation was interrupted by sounds. Naruto turned as he saw several more. They stepped out of the woods. As they approached, their eyes crimson as well. Even from here, Naruto could see it in their very system. They were something wrong. Not of his creation, the Noxeris. There were around 5 of them as they emerged. Girl, the one in the center said, seeming to be some kind of leader. You stole from us. We're gonna drain you dry. Naruto turned towards her. Under his gaze, she shrank. her gaze looking down towards her bag. Naruto took it away and pulled out what seemed to be a golden chalice. "Hey, that's mine," she said. "No, it's not. It's ours," the man spoke up. "You stole this," said Naruto. Well, she stuck her tongue out. "Kind of. So that is why he was chasing you." "Well, yeah, but I'm not really the bad guy in all of this." "How is that so?" "You took it." He questioned to her, wanting to see her morals, wanting to see how far she would go in this lie. He wanted to test her, because he felt that she wasn't bad. Not a mental feeling, but he could see that, the purity of a person. He's learned how to judge in the 2 years that he spent. He's learned how to judge after meeting the brother and sister that opened his eyes. "Aiko, look down. It's not for me, okay? This will help a lot of people. And it's not like they got it fairly, they stole it before." "What are you?" said Naruto, looking at her. "I'm a traveler, a scavenger. You have to do what you have to do to survive out here, and that is going to help a lot of people. I mean, look at it. It's gold," she said. "Well, it doesn't matter," the boss man said, stepping up. "The two of you will be drained dry right here and now." "I don't think so, buddy," she said. "My man here can kill you before you blink." However, Naruto started to walk away. "Hey, wait!" she shouted, running in front of him. "You're not just gonna leave me." "Why should your life be my concern?" said Naruto. "Because... please?" She said, not having a valid reason. "Oh yeah, and I did you a favor. I told you about the world, so you owe me," she said. If she was speaking to the Naruto before he met the brother and sister, he would have killed her in a second, but as he looked at her, realizing that her being a so-called scavenger and living out here, she would know a lot. "Fine," Naruto said. She shouted behind him as she jumped away, using chakra to leap to the trees. Naruto turned as the 5 of them descended. One grabbed his right arm, the other grabbed his left. 2 grabbed his leg while the boss man went for his head. They were going to drain him dry. As they said, Naruto was amused by their arrogance. His hand lashed out, lifting the guy that was trying to hold him. Naruto hit him so hard that his face caved in. He grabbed the other one to his shoulder and threw him into his boss. He kicked the second 2 away. He then moved and appeared between them. Naruto brought his hand out as electricity coursed along his finger. He pointed 2 fingers towards the boss' head. "Bikurai," he said. He blew his head clean off. But Naruto wasn't done. The lightning, it did not disperse as Naruto lowered his hand. It charred his body into dust. The other 4 hesitated as they saw their boss was destroyed. Naruto held his hand out. As tiny bones started to emerge, becoming larger and larger, he fired them into the air. They split apart, but Naruto thrust both of his hands out as they followed it. It stabbed into their back. Their midsection started to disintegrate, starting to break apart. But their body was trying so hard to recover it, trying to heal it. Naruto was amazed by their recovering ability. However, with a simple turn of his hand, chakra twisted into something violent and sucked them in. It did not just suck, it crushed them to a fine speck of nothingness. And just like that, they were gone. Aiko leaped down. Whoa, her eyes shimmering. She bounced on the ball of her feet. Taking a good look at her, she seemed to be around 16 years old. A very excited person, despite the dire situations. Even before she knew that she would die, and she wasn't afraid. She possessed silver hair, not pure and white like his. Her eyes were dark, very dark, seeping green color. As she bounced on the ball of her heel. "How did you do that?" she said. She was stuttering, unable to understand how awesome that is. How How? She said, seeing the mystery of this man. But Naruto started to walk away as she caught up with him. She picked up the chalice that he had dropped as she started to follow him. This way, she said. I'm not going anywhere with you, said Naruto. Don't you want me to tell you more about the world, she said. Come on, I know you want to. I can simply strip the information from your mind. Come on, why be such a bummer, she said. I mean, you're a pretty decent guy. Naruto looked at her for a long moment. Why did you take the chalice, he said. Come on and I'll show you, she said. Where are we going? Well, it's a bit far away. That mountain. Naruto grabbed her and they were gone. The next moment she appeared on the mountain, but her stomach was turned upside down. She hurled. She hurled like never before, collapsing on her knees. What the hell, she shouted as she cleared her mouth. What did you do? I see your small form is not used to such traveling. Please, I'm begging you. Don't do that again, she said. As she straightened herself up. Hey, it's me, she said. Slowly the cave in front of them started to open as they heard her voice. Naruto noticed that someone was watching them the moment they arrived. However, when the cave opened up, a spear coursing with chakra was launched right towards his chest. Aiko's eyes went wide in shock, realizing the mistake as she was caught up in her, well, she wouldn't say new friend just yet. But Naruto grabbed it and broke it in half like it was nothing. Someone then ran out, holding a strange device on his wrist, as he fired several more miniature stakes. They were coursing with chakra powered by his chakra. Naruto knocked them away like they were nothing. Aiko, stepping in front of him, "Stop," she said. "Jino, it's alright." The young boy known as Jino seemed to be around 14 years old. You said you would be the only one coming, and if there was anyone else, they were using you. I also told you to run for the hills, but instead, you decide to help me. That's really nice. He blushed a little bit. Who is this guy, he said. Easy. He's a friend, she said. Naruto did not respond to her but the boy. I've killed people for less, he said to him. He stiffened by Naruto's tone, dropping the weapon on his hand. Sorry, mister, he said. I just thought that she was in trouble. Come on, she said, grabbing Naruto's hand, but he pulled his hand away. Fine, Grumpy Pants, she said to him. They made their way inside, where Naruto saw a few other people. They started to question Aiko and who the hell he was. However, she told them that he was a friend and there was nothing to worry about. As she told them what happened in the forest area, they were shocked, many of them looking at him with awe. You asked me why I took the chalice from them. Well, it's simple. Look, Naruto saw several kids. There was a few adults as well. However, their chakra seemed minuscule compared to hers. She was much more talented, it seems. But the children, they were all covered by cloth. They were all sickly, as Naruto noticed that. Hey, she said, raising it. The adults moved towards her. A man that seemed to be, well, a more mature, responsible one around here. Grandpa Yamamoto, she said. I told you stop calling me that. It's just Yamamoto. Come on, old man. I'm not that old, he shouted at her. Yet, the smile on his face. He was so happy. So happy that she got it. The man was in his late 50s. But he did have gray hair. Maybe mostly from aging or stress. Dark eyes as he stepped forward. He looked at Naruto. He looked at the chalice. I take it you're not the enemy, he said as he looked at Naruto. I am not anything to you people, said Naruto. Don't worry. He's just a bit grumpy." The man stepped away, speaking to the other adults that were eyeing Naruto very dangerously. They were terrified, unsure, one of them calling over Aiko. As she vaulted for Naruto though, he could hear what they were saying, but he pretended not to. Naruto was simply intrigued by this turn of events, not knowing why he desired to know that. She had the chalice. He could feel these people's intentions. It reminded him of when he first started to accept those two. When they hide him away from Hagoromo, he was curious about it all. The years of sleep seemed to have tempered him, but this world is still so unknown. Naruto thought to himself. "Hey, are you sleeping?" she said. "My eyes were open," he said to her. She shrugged it off. "These kids they're hurt," she said. "Some of them are infected." "By what?" said Naruto as he saw the strange infection. "Well, we're not seen as humans." Naruto looked at her, confused by her words. "What do you mean?" "You really don't know any of this, but let me tell you. I told you that there was the elemental nation, and you have to have certain class to be in there. Then I told you about the Crimson Kingdom, and you have the Moon Valley with the Lunaris. We people out here in the small villages and around, we're seen as target practice by a lot of these new upstarts. Most of us that are unwilling to accept their offers to grow their strength. Offer. Yes. To turn us into their kind. Their new species." Naruto's mind went on the first two, wondering if they did all of this. They have to. But he never expected that they would replicate it. He gave them enough. He had turned and given enough for them to lead, for them to keep, until he woke up. They were supposed to confine the rest of the humans. Even with chakra, they were supposed to be supreme. There was a lot of them. One of them could take over a city like this easily. He didn't understand. So much happened. So much unknown. "Hey!" She snapped him out of his thoughts. "So, you want to know why I took the challenge?" she said. "Why I risked my life? Well, if I didn't, these children will die. The only way is to sell that chalice. Once we do, we will have enough money to pay for all of them, to get a doctor from one of the major cities, and once they come here, they will heal them. So that's it. You risk your life, put everything on the line. For the children," said Naruto. He was reminded what Myra said to him. Well, everyone deserves a second chance. So yeah, I did it for you. Those thoughts ran through his head as Naruto looked at her. "Well, I'm okay with dying," she said. He looked at her as she said that, so sad. She looked down. "Well," she said, cheering back up immediately. "You understand now. Could I ask you for a favor?" "No," said Naruto as he started to walk away. "Come on," she said, chasing after him. Aiko jumped in front of him. "Come on, please," she said. "I know I seem, well, capable of doing it on my own, but retrieving this and going through the Valley of Death are two different things. This was not far away to get. Even then I would have been killed if you didn't show up." "What about them?" said Naruto, looking at the adults. "Well, out here, we're not as strong as the elemental nation people. But a few of us are born special. Like my friend over there. You know, the one that almost hit you with that stake. And me. I possess a lot of chakra. And I have great control, but they do not. That is why none of us can help these children other than the basics. But if you were to help me, I could get past them and get to the main city. And with the amount of money that we'll get from selling that item, everything's gonna be okay. Please," she said, begging him. After he had changed Kento and Myra, Naruto had spent the next few years developing an army, a massive army of people that he chose. But even then, after their power, Kento and Myra was still the same. They still wanted to help people. Thus, Naruto gave them the choice. The rest of humanity that saw everything as war and destruction can be ruled over and crushed, while the innocents can be taken and protected. To think that he would have ever think this way. Yes, it surprised him as well. But those two had changed him. But he had to go to sleep. By the time he slept, he had left behind an army, 2 new species for the 2 of them to control. He told them exactly what to do. He gave them the way to hide, knowing that his brother was still there. He wasn't much worried about Hamura unless Hagoromo convinced him, but eventually Hagoromo would die from old age. Naruto had made sure that they could not be found. They were supposed to wait there. He granted them the similar ability to shut themselves down, to go into a state of hibernation, to sleep. Once the time was up, once 100 years would have passed by, Hagoromo's body would have been cursed by his own humanity. He wanted them to hide away because he did not want Hagoromo to know what he was up to. But Naruto never expected his sleep to take this long. That is why he set those premises. He understood they were probably upset. But this change was not what he expected. He thought they would have done something better. He remembered their words, how sad they were when he had to go. Still, he didn't expect this. He looked down towards this girl, seeing features of them in her, as Aiko was looking up towards him. "What are you doing?" said Naruto. She was giving him the puppy dog eyes. "Trying to convince you," she said, as she was pretending to be all cute. "Please," she said to him. "Stop that." She stopped immediately. Naruto looked over towards the children, unable to believe that he was actually going to do this. He often think about the person that he was when he was locked away. The person that swore to come back in ruthlessly, rip every part of humanity to nothing. Yet here he was as he stepped to the children. One of the men tried to block him. What are you doing?" he said, stuttering a bit. It seemed to be normal for him. He didn't seem that afraid. Naruto looked into his eyes, move. Naruto's words were compelling. He was too mighty for the man to even resist. Naruto held his hand above them and you could see the infection, the poisons, all being sucked from their body and into him. Unlike them, Naruto's body healed too fast. Unlike them, poison could not kill Naruto, so he was purified a moment later while the children took a good breath for the first time in a long while. Aiko was stunned. The adults, many of them wept in tears. Everyone around started to praise him like he was some god to them, which he was. Then again, he did not want their praise. He still had a lack of concern that much for humanity. Yet, his actions would say otherwise. But he did it. Why? Perhaps it was because she helped him, giving him information. He told himself, "It is not for free." She blinked. What do you want?" she said. She looked down and gasped as Naruto's eyes hardened. "I told you to stop that." "Come on, I'm just playing around," she said. "So, what do you want?" "You will accompany me. You will tell me everything you know as we visit these different places. You will show me how far humanity has gone, how far it has strayed away from the path that I set for it to be corrected." You talk like you're not human." His eyes flashed. "Do not mistake me for one of them, because I am not. Say your goodbyes." "Wait, my goodbyes?" She released a sigh. Okay. What's wrong? Said Naruto. Well, I take it I won't be returning back. You think you're going to die? Yes, most likely. Yet you're willing to accept that. Why? Because I heal them? No fight? Well, for one, I can't beat you, she said to him. That was very clear. So if it means keeping them safe, yeah. Sure, she said, smiling. Naruto could see it. So much pain, so much guilt. For one so young, so much regret. You won't die. I won't? So why did you tell me to say my goodbyes? Because you will be gone for a long time. Well, you said it in such an ominous way. I mean, come on, really. Learn how to be more cheery and speak more cheery. No, said Naruto. Fine, have it your way. She went and talked to the others, most of them disagreeing, but she promised that she would be safe, telling them that he was going to protect her because he's her new buddy. Naruto's eye twitched at that, but he said nothing to rebuff it. The last one that they first met when they came in here, he was the last that she talked to. The boy clearly was crushing on her hard. As Naruto stood there waiting, she packed what little that she need. Well, she enjoyed it. Naruto could see that. Besides, he did not care much for the others. Even as they had thanked him, he barely looked their way. She, on the other hand, maybe could tolerate her. He could simply sweep across the world, stripping people of their own mind, but she was a so-called scavenger. Someone that moved through. He wanted to see the world from the inside out, not from the outside in. I'm ready, she said. Have to tell you, I enjoy the journey, she said. Well, when it's not too dangerous. Because, if it is, the journey wouldn't be too much fun, now would it, she said. You talk a lot, said Naruto. Yeah, I've been told that before. So, the adventures of Aiko and Naruto begin. Shut up, said Naruto. Come on, is it because I didn't put your name first? You can be such a baby. He looked at her. Shutting up, she said. As they made their way. Tell me, the elemental nations, what exactly are they? Well, as I told you the name of the villages before, you have the Kazekage, you have the Mizukage, she said, going on into the villages. You have the Tishikage, the Raikage, and at the most powerful you have the Hokage and the Shadow Hokage. What is that? Well, it's something that passed down from a long time ago. The Hokage is the one that deals with a lot. The Shadow Hokage is the foundation, while, well, think of it as a tree. The Shadow Hokage is the roots and the Hokage is the tree base and all of that. I'm not exactly sure about the lore, but it's always Uchiha and Senju. Naruto looked at her, having no idea what the hell those were. Meanwhile, standing at their windows, the same man and woman from before, as they looked through at the heavens. So you've returned. Our creator, they said. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now. Peace.